In a world where happiness is celebrated like a badge of honor, what if the pursuit of joy is clouding the very essence of our humanity? Feel It All: How to Honor Every Emotion in a Happy Obsessed World invites you to peel back the glossy veneer of positivity and confront the intricate tapestry of your emotions. This book serves as an essential guide for navigating the labyrinth of mental health challenges, offering illuminating insights that empower you to embrace every feeling as a stepping stone to genuine understanding and well-being. By the end of this journey, you will learn not only how to survive in a joy-driven society, but to thrive as your authentic self. Feel It All: How to Honor Every Emotion in a Happy Obsessed World, written and published by Mindset Liberation. Chapter 1. Permission to Feel Everything. In a society where the relentless chase for happiness reigns supreme, the act of granting ourselves permission to feel often feels like an act of rebellion. We are told repeatedly that we should smile, embrace positivity, and push away anything that detracts from our joy. However, what if I told you that this pursuit not only harms our mental health, but also amounts to a denial of our very humanity? In the quest to maintain a cheerful facade, many of us become adept at shoving our feelings into dark corners, obscuring the authentic selves that lurk beneath the surface and ultimately leading to greater emotional turmoil. The very spectrum of emotions we experience, from anguish to elation, serves a purpose, signaling our needs, desires, and boundaries. Recent studies indicate that nearly 1 in 5 adults experiences mental illness in a given year, a staggering figure that illustrates just how prevalent these struggles are. While we might love to believe that our lives mirror those portrayed in the glossy ads and social media feeds that often leave us feeling inadequate, the reality is that many brave souls grapple with feelings of sadness or anxiety that remain silenced. Psychologists abound with insights into this modern epidemic. Both Dr. Brené Brown and Dr. Angela Lee Duckworth emphasize the importance of embracing vulnerability to cultivate resilience and authentic connections. Therefore, acknowledging our emotions offers much more than mere relief. It's often the very first step on the journey to healing and self-acceptance. Consider the story of Jenna, a brilliant marketing executive who, on the surface, appeared to have it all: a thriving career, a supportive partner, and sociable friends. Yet silently, she battled waves of despair that lapped at her senses. Her frame of reference told her that admitting to struggles was a sign of weakness, an unwelcome blotch on her otherwise polished image. So, she kept her head down and forced smiles in public, all while feeling empty inside. The tipping point arrived when, during a conversation with her best friend, she finally broke down. As she spoke freely about her feelings of inadequacy and confusion, Jenna experienced a warmth wash over her. Not judgment, but understanding. This moment catalyzed, reigniting her sense of humanity, while rendering her vulnerability an act of courage. Jenna discovered that by granting herself permission to feel everything, she made the first powerful move towards untangling her identity from the societal pressures that had ensnared her. But this acceptance does not come easy, nor is it one-off. Offering ourselves the grace to feel everything, joys, sorrows, anxieties, and elations, requires a conscious shift in mindset. It means shaking loose the chains of conditioned responses bred through societal expectations that teach us emotions should always be managed or masked. In emerging from this mental enclave, we become aware of our emotional landscape as not merely fluctuating states to endure, but rather vital cues that guide our decisions, actions, and ultimately how we connect with others. It is only through confronting and honoring every emotion that we can pave a genuine path to healing. Reflect on how many times you've brushed aside discomfort at work or forced laughter within social settings. Have you ever questioned who you really are beneath those learned facades? As we delve deeper into understanding the purpose of feelings, we commence not just the act of feeling, but also inviting transformation into our lives. By allowing ourselves permission to feel everything, we drop the masks and embrace an honest exploration of self. Truly, the only route to holistic well-being. When individuals ignore their emotions in favor of a superficial optimism, they create a malaise that shadows every facet of their lives. Emotions are intricate guides that can deeply influence decision-making processes, relationships, and self-esteem. When we neglect feelings such as fear, sadness, or anger, we inadvertently distort our perceptions and limit our ability to act in ways that serve our true interests. Research from psychological pioneers like Daniel Kahneman illuminates this phenomenon, revealing that emotions play a critical role in judgment, and that those who suppress their feelings often make riskier, less informed decisions. By ignoring our internal emotional signals, we can step onto paths that may not genuinely resonate with who we are, leading to future disillusionment and regret. The consequences of this emotional suppression stretch into our relationships as well. Anna and Reggie, a young couple, often found themselves unable to communicate their respective anxieties. Pulling away from each other, they attempted to maintain a facade of a perfect partnership while struggles quietly festered beneath the surface. Their reluctance to voice fears or frustrations ultimately led to an emotional detachment that left them feeling isolated and numb. Psychological research speaks to the contagion of emotion, representing how our interactions can shape our feelings. When we engage in meaningful conversations or invite our partners into our emotional experiences, we create an atmosphere conducive to connection and intimate understanding. Anna and Reggie's story serves as a poignant reminder. Neglecting the ugly truths of our emotions can erode relationships that are seemingly built on love but founded on fear of vulnerability. This suppression grabs a firm hold on our self-esteem. People often equate unhappiness with failure, leading them to overpower feelings of sadness in an effort to remain perpetually successful. Anna had always excelled academically and professionally, yet when she began to struggle mentally, she felt utterly unworthy. In harnessing illness as failure, she surrendered her voice, her power diminishing in silence. Research by Brené Brown reveals that self-acceptance hinges on the ability to embrace vulnerabilities, emphasizing that individuals who don't allow themselves to feel authentically are at risk of spiraling into despair and a fractured sense of self-worth. It is this distortion that traps them in a cycle of self-disdain, pushing them to chase external validation rather than pursuing internal acceptance. People fall prey to the culture of relentless positivity because the allure of happiness lingers widely in contemporary society, buoyed by social media, where smiles and success are incessantly paraded. This constant barrage leaves many feeling inadequate, driving them to perpetuate the cycle of suppression. We witness trends like toxic positivity, where individuals mistakenly believe that acknowledging negative feelings poses a threat to their happiness. This perception discourages candid conversations about struggles, ultimately leaving them feeling disconnected, vulnerable, and alone. The longer this dynamic persists, the heavier the weight of unexpressed feelings becomes, suffocating our desires and thwarting our ability to make autonomous, fulfilling choices. As we unpack the profound implications of ignoring our emotions, we become acutely aware of the urgency behind recognizing and reclaiming our rights to feel. Emotions do not denote weakness. Rather, they serve as beacons, guiding us toward self-love and authenticity that genuinely enrich our lives. In the next part of this chapter, we will delve into the hidden warning signs of emotional suppression that often elude our understanding. It is these subtle cues that can guide us back to a path of acceptance, a journey worth taking for the betterment of ourselves and our relationships. Recognizing the signs that our mental health is suffering requires keen awareness and a willingness to confront uncomfortable realities. Many individuals find themselves enveloped in a fog of despair without realizing it, learning to adapt to their emotional stagnation as the new normal. Common manifestations include chronic fatigue, emotional numbness, persistent irritability, and a disconnection from activities and relationships once enjoyed. For instance, consider Liam, a once enthusiastic university student who no longer finds pleasure in attending classes or social events. The joy he once felt has morphed into disengagement, where even the thought of participating feels laborious. Doubling down on maintaining appearances, attending classes without truly engaging and socializing from a distance, contributes to the insidious cycle of numbing, yet leaves him feeling increasingly isolated. The experiences can escalate into destructive behaviors, as seen in Sarah, a young professional who channels her mounting stress into compulsive overworking. She convinces herself that relentless productivity equates to worth, ignoring the fatigue that lingers beneath her smile. Pushing forward becomes a distraction from deeper feelings of inadequacy and loneliness. Yet the toll on her mental health becomes painfully palpable when anxiety disrupts her sleep, leading to debilitating burnout. Each case provides insight and pattern recognition. Signs of avoidance, depletion, and anxiety serve as distress signals that our mental health deserves a nuanced examination. Why is it crucial to identify these signs? Recognizing the symptoms is the linchpin to healing. When individuals illuminate their experiences, they set off a cascade of positive effects. Acknowledgement is the precursor to seeking help, sparking the courage to introspect and take proactive steps to reclaim agency over emotions. The American Psychological Association emphasizes the importance of emotional awareness in fostering resilience, suggesting that understanding our patterns helps in developing strategies to confront them effectively. For many, awareness becomes empowering, a bridge from isolation to authenticity, creating swift pathways towards meaningful support systems, whether through therapy, self-care rituals, or open conversations with loved ones. By diligently examining these patterns in our lives, we unveil a world of discomfort that deserves attention and dialogue. It is not a weakness, but a responsibility to ourselves and those around us, acknowledging and breaking free from the cycles that no longer serve us. Take a moment to reflect. In what ways have you overlooked your emotional well-being? How many times have familiar worries or unsettling emotions gone unaddressed? The courage to recognize these poignant patterns constitutes the most crucial leap towards healing. Through validation, we encourage action. We dismantle stigma around mental health and pave the way for genuine connection and support. As we gather our insights, poised for transformation, the upcoming chapter will embark on a pivotal journey, focusing on how we can start breaking away from the compelling addiction to happiness, a known barrier keeping us from embracing our fuller emotional range. Prepare to discover practical strategies and deeper insights that uplift us on the path toward authenticity. Remember that understanding the nuances of mental health issues is merely the first step. Join us on this enlightening journey, and if you find value in what you're reading, help us amplify collective healing by subscribing to Mindset Liberation. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's build a sanctuary of shared experiences as we delve deeper into our emotional landscapes together. Your voice matters on this path to transformation. Let's navigate it collectively. Chapter 2. Breaking the Happiness Addiction. In a world where the relentless pursuit of happiness often clouds our judgment, the liberating solution lies in embracing the art of emotional complexity. We have been conditioned to chase fleeting moments of joy while shunning the natural ebb and flow of our feelings. It's time to break free from this happiness addiction, recognizing that true fulfillment arises not from the absence of discomfort, but from the willingness to navigate the rich spectrum of our emotional experiences. This chapter will explore the empowering pathway to acceptance, revealing how we can reclaim our emotional landscapes and reshape our lives with a refreshed perspective. Understanding the origins of our fixation on constant happiness is paramount. Popular culture, reinforced by social media, inundates us with an idealized version of life where smiles reign supreme and struggles are a sign of failure. This fabricated standard has led to a staggering number of people, over 90%, feeling inadequate on account of their emotional states. A study by researchers at the University of California highlights that children as young as 5 years old begin to internalize these messages, feeling pressured to present an image of happiness as the ultimate goal. This learned obsession with feeling good often diminishes our capacity to genuinely confront and honor the tough emotions that often serve as windows into our true selves. Consider the case of Tom, a young entrepreneur who once thrived on the excitement of his budding venture. Over time, influenced by societal expectations, Tom began to suppress anything that felt less than ecstatic. As challenges mounted, instead of facing them head-on, he dismissed his feelings, burrowing himself deeper into denial. Year after year passed, and instead of realizing his potential, he battled stress, anxiety, and ultimately burnout. Thankfully, Tom stumbled upon the idea of emotional depth, realizing that engaging with his negative feelings, rather than resisting them, could lay the groundwork for more substantial growth. He learned that acknowledging his wounds not only equipped him with insight, but also refueled his motivation and creativity. Tom's journey serves as a relatable reflection of what many experience in our overzealous, happiness-driven world. Expert insights echo this need for transitioning from superficial positivity to genuine emotional awareness. Psychologist Dr. Martin Seligman, known as the father of positive psychology, emphasizes that real contentment emerges from embracing both the pleasant and unpleasant aspects of our emotional existence. Anticipation, empathy, connection, and resilience are crafted in the landscape of discomfort, creating a sturdy framework for enduring happiness that is built to withstand life's inevitable challenges. Awareness of our vulnerability empowers us, stripping away the polished illusions and supporting a richer, more authentic life story. The shift from an ingrained drive for happiness to an appreciation of our authentic emotional experience cultivates resilience. Instead of measuring success solely by the intensity of fleeting ecstasy, we learn to evaluate it within an overarching context, embracing patterns of awareness, acceptance, and growth. This shift emboldens us to take ownership over our emotional narratives, crafting the tools needed for transformation. As we find strength in this journey, remember that every step you take is a powerful act of self-empowerment. In the chapters that follow, we will examine practical strategies to engage with your emotions without fear, creating the foundation for a more genuine and fulfilling existence. The road ahead may not always be easy, but your commitment to breaking the bonds of happiness addiction will unveil a pathway toward true emotional freedom. Stand firm in the belief that you possess the capacity to steer your journey. Liberation awaits you. The path to breaking free from the addiction to constant happiness is rooted in a profound understanding that emotional acceptance can be transformative. The power of embracing our feelings has an extraordinary ability to dismantle the false narratives that society imposes upon us. Scientific research substantiates this approach, revealing that individuals who practice emotional acceptance experience reduced anxiety, enhanced resilience, and a greater sense of overall well-being. By cultivating a culture of acknowledgement rather than avoidance, we unlock the potential to lead more meaningful lives. A pivotal study published in the journal Emotion demonstrates that individuals who recognize and accept their genuine emotions are more adept at coping with distress. Researchers found that experiencing a full range of emotions, both positive and negative, facilitated emotional stability and improved interpersonal relationships. This aligns with the work of Dr. Michael K. Smith, who emphasizes that emotional awareness allows individuals to respond mindfully rather than react impulsively to stressors. When we accept our emotions, we create space for reflection and understanding, freeing ourselves from the burdensome cycle of emotional suppression that addiction to happiness often perpetuates. Consider the transformative journey of Maya, a teacher in her early 30s who had spent years chasing an elusive sense of happiness. Initially perceiving her emotions as enemies, she fell victim to the belief that suppressing sadness and anxiety would ultimately lead her to joy. Yet the continuous battle left Maya feeling disconnected, both from herself and her students. It was not until she discovered mindfulness practices that she began to shift her perspective. Through guided meditation and journaling exercises focused on emotional honesty, she learned to welcome her legitimate feelings as integral pieces of a greater puzzle, rather than impediments to her happiness. Maya embodied a powerful lesson. The more she acknowledged each emotion, the easier it became to manage them. Progress, understandably, included difficult moments, but she reframed these experiences as opportunities for growth. As she gradually transitioned from a mindset of constant positivity to one of acceptance and exploration, her anxiety decreased, her connection to students intensified, and she rediscovered the joy of teaching. The transformative narrative showcased how embracing one's full range of emotions can uplift not only personal morale but spark deeper connections with others. This method, grounded in emotional acceptance, renders it effective precisely because it cultivates resilience in the face of adversity. It allows individuals to interact with life as it unfolds. fostering a sense of control that can often feel lost in moments of distress. Rather than waiting for the next bout of happiness to wash over them, individuals learn to find strength within their complexities. Addressing the pressing urgency of spending so much time chasing superficial happiness, it's crucial to realize that the heart of emotional validation equips us with invaluable tools. Yielding to discomfort opens the door to healing. It reminds us that life encompasses an array of experiences, and through that, true fulfillment emerges. Understanding our emotions paves the pathway toward reclaiming the power to shape our narratives. As we explore these profound methods, each story of transformation emerges as a testament to the strength residing within each of us. Greater healing awaits. In the next part of this chapter, we will delve into practical techniques to prioritize emotional acceptance in our everyday lives, arming you with strategies to sustain this vital transformation. This journey toward emotional authenticity requires courage, yet it promises a rich life imbued with rewarding connections and profound self-understanding. Remember, and keep your heart and mind open. Your path toward liberation is just beginning. To effectively implement the transformative method of emotional acceptance, it's essential to start with actionable steps that you can seamlessly integrate into your daily life. By doing so, you create a supportive environment that encourages genuine emotional exploration. Together, we will embark on this journey with practical exercises that will guide you toward embracing your feelings, one small win at a time. Begin by fostering a consistent practice of emotional awareness through a simple exercise called the Feelings Check-In. Every morning, take a moment to sit quietly in a space where you feel comfortable. Close your eyes and tune into your body, taking several deep breaths. As you breathe, allow yourself to scan your emotional landscape. Ask yourself what feelings are present today. Are you feeling joyful, anxious, sad, or even indifferent? Once you identify your emotions, pay attention to where they reside in your body. Do you feel tension in your shoulders, a lightness in your chest, or something else entirely? Acknowledge these sensations without judgment. This exercise not only cultivates emotional awareness, but also encourages validation of your feelings, no matter how complex they may be. Make this practice a daily ritual, and you'll soon find that simply checking in with yourself instills a sense of connection and presence. The next step involves journaling as another powerful tool for embracing emotions. Allocate 10 minutes for free writing, allowing your thoughts and feelings to flow without self-censorship. Experiment with prompts such as, "Today I felt because," or "I want to acknowledge the emotions I'm currently facing." Utilize this time to explore difficult feelings as if they were friends visiting, curious and deserving of your attention. Thus, by translating emotions into words, you create a tangible narrative, forwarding your journey of acceptance. Additionally, introducing mindfulness techniques can greatly enhance your ability to navigate challenging emotions. When negative feelings arise, practice the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This method helps anchor you in the present moment, promoting emotional regulation and reducing overwhelm. Through mindfulness, you can discover that discomfort does not need to dictate the trajectory of your days. Celebrate your growth along the way, no matter how small. Recognize these small wins as crucial milestones. Maybe you successfully acknowledged sadness instead of diverting your attention or shared your feelings with a trusted friend. The more you honor these moments, the more empowered you will feel. Remember, your journey toward emotional acceptance is not a linear path, but each step you take is weighty and significant. As we close this chapter, take a deep breath and sense the progress you're already cultivating by becoming more in tune with your feelings. In the next chapter, we will explore sitting with sadness gracefully, where you will learn how to navigate and honor the often feared emotion of sadness, turning it from an adversary into an ally. By embracing the complexities of sadness, you can empower yourself toward profound emotional growth and healing. Thank you for joining me in uncovering these empowering methodologies. If you found these insights valuable, please consider subscribing to Mindset Liberation. Engaging with our community fosters shared experiences in this journey of healing. Like this video and leave a comment with your thoughts or suggestions for future topics. Together, let's continue to support each other in navigating the rich tapestry of our emotions. Your thoughts are vital in nurturing this caring space. We're all in this together. Chapter 3. Sitting with Sadness, Gracefully. In a world that often equates sadness with weakness, the profound solution lies in learning to sit with sadness gracefully and respecting it as an essential facet of our humanity. Embracing sadness instead of avoiding it can lead to transformative insights and emotional growth. This chapter will guide you through the empowering practice of acknowledging and sitting with sadness, an experience that, once embraced, can lead to joy, resilience, and a deeper understanding of oneself. The origins of our discomfort with sadness are deeply embedded in societal norms that celebrate cheerfulness and determine success based on the avoidance of emotional pain. Recent statistics underscore this. A study conducted by the World Health Organization reveals that over 300 million people worldwide suffer from depression, often exacerbated by the relentless push to wear a mask of happiness. This pervasive culture dismisses sadness as a failure rather than legitimizing it as an integral part of the human experience. Expert insights echo this sentiment. Dr. Susan David, a renowned psychologist, emphasizes that emotions, including sadness, are critical in providing invaluable information about our lives and choices. She explains that attempting to suppress difficult emotions often leads to negative consequences for mental health, ultimately resulting in burnout, anxiety, and frustration. In recognizing the normalcy of sadness, we empower ourselves to explore the richness of our emotional lives. Real-life scenarios offer a powerful testament to the potential for growth through sadness. Consider the story of Alex, a young artist whose vibrant pieces once reflected nothing but joy. However, when faced with the unforeseen loss of a beloved family member, he grappled with intense grief that starkly contrasted with his previous emotional palette. Initially, Alex resisted the overwhelming wave of sadness, attempting to push it away and maintain a facade of happiness in public. Yet, this strategy did little more than amplify his feelings of incongruence. It was only when Alex allowed himself to fully experience his sorrow that profound changes began to unfold. Instead of distracting himself, he chose to sit with his emotions, reflecting on his loss while pouring the pain into his art. Through this process of acceptance, he transformed his sadness into an avenue for creative expression, producing hauntingly beautiful work that struck chords of connection in others. Alex discovered that acknowledging and honoring his sadness not only enhanced his artistry, but also fostered healing. This poignant story reminds us that sadness, once embraced, can reveal paths to healing and profound connection with others. The power inherent in correctly navigating our sadness leads to resilience and emotional fortitude. This navigation allows for much-needed introspection, equipping us to confront life's challenges with newfound depth. Sitting with sadness gives us the tools to learn more about ourselves, thereby fortifying our emotional constitution as we cultivate patience, compassion, and understanding for others and, importantly, ourselves. As you approach the exploration of your own sadness, recognize it as a gateway to healing. Embracing this complex emotion can transform your relationship with yourself and foster connections with others who share similar experiences of grief or loss. Together, as we cultivate a deeper understanding of this often ignored emotion, we position ourselves to nurture meaningful, lasting well-being. In the next part of this chapter, we will develop practical techniques for sitting with sadness that will empower you to embrace this emotion without fear. Prepare to explore methods that honor your feelings and provide rich opportunities for growth and healing. As you journey forth, know that you possess the strength to navigate through sadness with grace. The ability and power truly reside within you. Sitting with sadness gracefully is not only a meaningful practice, but is also backed by substantial scientific research that demonstrates its effectiveness in fostering mental and emotional well-being. This method allows us to confront sadness head-on, rather than suppressing it, ultimately paving the way for healing and growth. Grasping the importance of this practice lies in understanding how allowing oneself to feel sadness can lead to significant emotional transformation and increased resilience. Research by Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, a leading psychologist known for her work on positive psychology, reveals that experiencing negative emotions, including sadness, can serve a purpose in our emotional landscape. Her broaden and build theory highlights that negative emotions can enhance our perspective, leading to personal growth and adaptive coping strategies. When we confront sadness rather than run from it, we increase our capacity for understanding ourselves and our feelings deeply, promoting emotional intelligence in the process. To illustrate the power of this approach, consider the story of Mia, a social worker who chose to ignore her sadness following a traumatic incident at work. As her emotions simmered beneath the surface, Mia's ability to help her clients diminished, leading to feelings of frustration and inadequacy. Initially, she believed that suppressing her sadness would allow her to remain effective in her profession. However, as time went on, the weight of her repressed feelings began to affect her physical and mental health, manifesting as insomnia and chronic fatigue. It wasn't until a colleague encouraged her to engage in an exercise of emotional openness that she embarked on a transformative journey. Mia decided to embrace her sadness by taking time each evening to reflect on her experiences. Through journaling and meditation, she acknowledged her grief, allowing herself to feel it fully without judgment. Instead of hindering her work, this practice rejuvenated her spirit. Mia found clarity in her feelings, and as a result, was more equipped to reconnect with her clients and support them through their challenges. Mia's transformation exemplifies the effectiveness of sitting with sadness. As she learned to invite her feelings instead of stifling them, she tapped into emotional resilience that went on to profoundly impact both her professional and personal lives. The sadness that once seemed overwhelming became a powerful catalyst for growth, allowing her to regain control rather than allowing it to control her. Moreover, scientific literature echoes this trajectory. A study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies indicates that individuals who allow themselves to feel a full spectrum of emotions, including the difficult ones, report higher levels of overall life satisfaction. This balance enhances mental clarity, cultivates empathy, and fortifies social connections, which can be particularly beneficial in our increasingly fragmented world. By learning to sit with sadness, we develop a constructive dialogue with our emotions, enabling more honest reflections about life's experiences. This approach encourages acceptance, something that is absolutely vital in the art of emotional well-being. Applicability through real-life examples solidifies this method as an approachable and credible tool for healing, ensuring that readers are equipped with sound strategies to navigate their emotional turmoil. As we prepare to explore specific techniques for embracing sadness and navigating through its complexities, remember how vital it is for you to reclaim your emotional terrain. In the next part of this chapter, you will discover practical practices that encourage connection with your sadness while simultaneously allowing for emotional healing. The journey toward emotional resilience involves all of you. Hold steadfast to the knowledge that in the act of acknowledging sadness, you wield the power to transform your experience. To effectively embrace sadness and transform this emotion into a source of strength, it's essential to cultivate a practice of acceptance and understanding in our daily lives. Let's walk through actionable steps together that will empower you to sit with sadness gracefully, a journey promising profound personal insight and healing. These steps are designed to foster immediate action and create small wins as you learn to honor your emotional landscape. Begin by setting aside dedicated time each week for your sadness reflection. This can be a 1-hour session where you create a quiet, comfortable space to explore your emotions without distractions. Sit down with a journal, a pen, and allow yourself the freedom to express what sadness means for you at this moment. Consider writing prompts like, "What am I feeling right now and why?" Or, "How does this sadness affect my day-to-day life?" Mention specific instances or triggers that bring forth this feeling. This thorough examination of your emotions serves as the foundation for deeper understanding, helping you clarify your thoughts and experiences. In addition to journaling, incorporate mindfulness meditation into your reflection time. Choose a comfortable position and focus on your breath, allowing feelings of sadness to arise without judgment. Visualize these emotions as gentle waves washing over you. Acknowledge their presence, but understand that you have the power to observe without being overwhelmed. If your mind drifts toward distractions or discomfort, gently redirect your attention back to your breath. This method cultivates your capacity to endure difficult emotions without letting them dictate your well-being. Next, consider engaging in a physical release of your emotional energy. Movement can be incredibly therapeutic. Try to go for a walk, dance to your favorite music, or practice yoga. Physical activity allows you to channel your emotional state through movement, fostering an integrated sense of release and renewal. You might feel lighter, more connected to your body, and more in tune with the emotional states you're processing. As you engage in these practices, celebrate each step forward. Acknowledge any progress you make, no matter how small. Did you manage to identify a feeling of sadness you've been avoiding? Cherish that insight and build on it. Did you allow yourself to sit quietly with discomfort for a few minutes longer than usual? That is a triumph in emotional growth. By recognizing and celebrating these wins, you reinforce your resilience and commitment to this practice. Finally, consider sharing your experiences with a trusted friend or support group. Vocalizing your emotions and the steps you're taking promotes connection and diminishes the sense of isolation that often accompanies sadness. Support from others can provide validation, encouragement, and importantly, remind you that you are not alone in this endeavor. As you put these steps into action, get ready for an evolving emotional landscape, where sitting with sadness paves the way for a deeper connection to yourself. In the next chapter, we will delve into the significance of understanding anger, transforming this powerful emotion from a potential adversary to an ally on your journey toward emotional authenticity. Be curious and prepared to learn how embracing anger can elevate your emotional maturity. As we conclude this chapter, remember that the pursuit of emotional well-being is a community journey. Please consider subscribing to Mindset Liberation for ongoing support. If you've enjoyed what you're learning, hit that like button and share your thoughts or suggestions for what you'd like to explore next. Your engagement helps foster a space where we can grow together and empower one another on this essential journey. You have the strength within you to navigate this path. Let's continue to support one another. Chapter 4. Anger as a sacred signal. Anger, often viewed with suspicion and fear, can actually serve as a powerful ally on your emotional journey. Rather than perceiving this vibrant emotion as a disruptor to your peace, embrace it as a sacred signal, an invitation to explore and transform your experience. This chapter will guide you toward recognizing anger's purpose, understanding its roots, and effectively channeling this emotion to enrich your lives. Understanding the origins of our apprehension toward anger is crucial in unraveling its potential. In a society that glorifies calmness and composure, anger often gets dismissed as a negative force to be avoided at all costs. Research reveals that anger can be an integral part of emotional expression and serve as a chief indicator of unmet needs or boundaries. According to a study published in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology, feelings of anger are often suppressed in both men and women, contributing to various psychological conditions, including anxiety and depression. This hesitance not only stifles personal growth but can hinder open communication in relationships. Daily experiences provide relatable illustrations of the many faces of anger we encounter. Consider the story of Daniel, a rising marketing manager who frequently found himself simmering in frustration. Whether it was tight deadlines, larger-than-life expectations, or interpersonal conflicts with coworkers, Daniel began to ignore his feelings of anger, believing that expressing these emotions would reflect inadequacy or weakness. Instead of confronting his frustrations head-on, he bottled them up, which gradually eroded his self-esteem and exacerbated his anxiety. As he navigated his stress, Daniel unwittingly distanced himself from his coworkers, weakening important collaborations and triggering a heightened sense of isolation. The turning point in Daniel's story came when he sought professional help, opening dialogue about his struggles with anger. His therapist emphasized the notion that anger itself isn't inherently bad. Rather, it signals areas in need of attention and change. This perspective shifted Daniel's view, encouraging him to explore the underlying causes of his anger. With this new understanding, he began to see anger not as a looming adversary, but as inner guidance, illuminating the aspects of his life that required change or more self-advocacy. Moreover, renowned psychologist Dr. Karen Horney's research points out that anger can act as a crucial emotion that sparks assertiveness, enabling individuals to set healthier boundaries and stand up for themselves. By harnessing the energy of anger, one cultivates the courage necessary to initiate conversations about unmet needs or injustices. This process unleashes a positive force that enhances personal empowerment, while simultaneously deepening connections through honest communication and understanding. Admitting and accepting anger allows for constructive exploration instead of avoidance. Those who embrace their anger not only experience increased emotional resilience, but they also pave the way to improved relationships. Transformation often takes root when people recognize the significance of their feelings. Envision this. What if you viewed your anger as an invitation to deepen your self-awareness, cultivate authenticity, and inspire change, rather than react out of fear or push it away out of frustration? As we navigate through this exploration of anger together, remember that you hold the power to determine how this emotion defines your experience. Acknowledging anger can serve as a catalyst for change, fostering healing and intimacy in your relationships. With each page, know that you are capable of reclaiming your emotional landscape, transforming anger from a relentless foe into a sacred signal, guiding your path to personal empowerment. In the next part of this chapter, we will discuss practical strategies for understanding and expressing anger constructively, unlocking the potential that lies within this formidable yet valuable emotion. Your journey toward embracing anger starts now. Understanding how to embrace anger as a sacred signal is an effective approach for not only addressing overwhelming emotions, but also for catalyzing positive change in our lives. When we learn to acknowledge and express anger appropriately, we can unlock a vital source of energy and insight. This powerful emotion serves as a compass, directing us toward unresolved conflicts, unmet needs, and boundaries that require enforcement, ultimately transforming anger from a destructive force into a tool for empowerment. Scientific research supports this method by underscoring the psychological benefits that arise when individuals learn to express their anger healthily. A study published in The Journal of Clinical Psychology indicates that when participants engaged in anger expression exercises, such as writing about their feelings or taking part in physical activity to release pent-up energy, they reported decreases in anxiety and depression symptoms. These findings reinforce the idea that spaciousness around anger helps mitigate its potential to disrupt our mental well-being when mismanaged. Instead of allowing anger to control us, expressing it meaningfully can illuminate pathways to healing and connection. Consider the personal journey of Michelle, a project manager who had always been praised for her calm demeanor. Internally, however, Michelle grappled with resentment towards a colleague whose inconsiderate behavior undermined her efforts. Like many, she had been conditioned to mask her feelings. Doing so led her to compromise her needs, eventually resulting in burnout and frustration. Michelle's emotional turmoil began to invade her personal life, leaving her irritable and withdrawn from her loved ones. The turning point came when she began taking part in anger management workshops that encouraged participants to harness their feelings as sacred signals. Through guided activities, Michelle learned the importance of naming her anger and acknowledging its purpose in her emotional landscape. In one particular exercise, she described her anger in vivid detail, enabling her to understand that her feelings stemmed from her desire for respect and collaboration. This exercise helped her shift from a place of resentment to one of clarity, as it rallied her to express her feelings candidly and constructively. Equipped with this new perspective, Michelle courageously approached her colleague, initiating an open conversation about how that person's actions affected her work. To her surprise, her colleague responded with appreciation rather than defensiveness, leading to improved collaboration and mutual respect. The communication improved, and Michelle felt empowered, knowing she had respected herself by voicing her concerns and had taken charge of her emotional experiences. Michelle's transformation illustrates the effectiveness of viewing anger as a sacred signal. Instead of internalizing her frustration, she discovered that acknowledging and expressing her anger formed the basis for meaningful dialogue, ultimately enriching her professional relationships and nurturing her self-esteem. Accepting anger opened the door for more authentic connections, strengthening bonds rooted in mutual respect and understanding. As we comprehend the transformative power of anger, recognizing its role within our emotional framework becomes paramount. Your anger exists not to harm, but to serve as an insightful guide, revealing what you need to address in your life. Embracing and expressing this emotion thoughtfully allows you to establish boundaries, communicate effectively, and stand firmly in your truth. In the next part of this chapter, we will delve into practical strategies on how to harness anger constructively, outfitting you with the tools to illuminate your emotional landscape and cultivate healthy channels for expression. Together, we will empower you to turn anger into a catalyst for positive change. Remember, you hold the key to transforming your emotional narrative as you journey forward into this transformative experience. To harness anger as a sacred signal effectively, it's essential to implement actionable steps that enable you to express this powerful emotion safely and constructively. By taking these steps, you allow yourself to transform anger into a force that can foster personal growth and deepen your relationships. Let's walk through practical exercises and techniques that will inspire immediate action and cultivate a sense of momentum in your emotional journey. Begin by finding a quiet space where you feel comfortable and can focus entirely on processing your feelings. Set aside 15 minutes and use this time to engage in a mindful practice known as anger journaling. Start by writing down what's making you angry. Name the specific situation or person and describe your feelings in detail. This exercise encourages you to unpack your emotions fully and surface the underlying triggers. As you write, aim for honesty, free from judgment. Allow your pen to flow without worrying about grammar or spelling. After you've expressed your anger on paper, reflect on what your feelings are trying to tell you. Ask yourself questions like, what needs of mine are not being met? Or, what boundaries have been crossed? This reflective dialogue allows you to connect the dots and understand anger as a key to unlocking deeper needs for respect or personal space. Once you feel you've unpacked those feelings, take a moment to breathe deeply and acknowledge your anger as a valid signal that needs attention. Next, consider incorporating physical release techniques into your routine. Physical activity can be an incredibly effective outlet for anger. Choose an exercise that you enjoy, whether it's running, dancing, or practicing martial arts, and commit to doing it regularly. As you engage in physical movement, visualize your anger dissipating with each motion. If you prefer at-home options, try some vigorous activities like boxing on a punching bag, or even a brief but intense burst of dancing to your favorite songs. This can release pent-up energy and create a sense of accomplishment, giving your body an escape from the tension built up from suppressed anger. Another powerful technique is the timeout, which involves stepping away from a triggering situation to process your emotions before reacting. If a conversation or circumstance is making you feel overwhelmed with anger, take a few moments to pause. Excuse yourself from the situation if possible and engage in deep breathing. This allows you to calm down before responding, reducing the likelihood of reactive behavior. You might say to yourself, I need a moment to gather my thoughts. I'll be back shortly. This process can lead to more constructive conversations when you return. As you practice these methods, take time to celebrate your small victories. Did you gain clarity from your journaling today? Recognize that insight and carry it forward. Did you manage to express your feelings instead of bottling them up? Acknowledge that courage. Every step taken reinforces the idea that you are transforming anger from a destructive impulse into a valuable guide for your emotional health. As we wrap up this chapter, remember that anger is not your enemy. Rather, it's a powerful ally waiting to be actively engaged. In the next chapter, we will explore the concept of the power of vulnerable truths. diving into how sharing our authentic selves can continue your journey toward emotional resilience and connection. This path of vulnerability will unveil deeper layers of understanding and healing, enriching your experiences in ways you might not have imagined. I encourage you to subscribe to Mindset Liberation for continued support on this journey. If you found value in these concepts and exercises, give this a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Your reflections and suggestions will help us foster a nurturing community. Remember, this is a shared journey, and together we can empower one another to transform emotions into strengths. Chapter 5. The Power of Vulnerable Truths. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, yet it serves as a profound source of strength and healing on the path to emotional awareness. In this chapter, we will uncover the transformative power of sharing our vulnerable truths, stories and feelings hidden beneath the surface that connect us to ourselves and others. Embracing our vulnerability is not merely an act of courage. It is an invitation to foster genuine connections and reclaim our authentic selves. The hesitation to embrace vulnerability often stems from a long-standing cultural narrative that prizes strength and stoicism over openness and authenticity. Research from Brené Brown, a pioneering researcher on vulnerability, reveals that those who dare to express their vulnerabilities experience a higher level of joy, connection, and overall life satisfaction. Her studies indicate that when individuals allow themselves to be seen and share their true experiences, they create emotional landscapes rich in empathy and understanding. Consider the case of Liam, a high school teacher loved by his students for his enthusiastic learning environment. Yet underneath his charismatic exterior, Liam bore the weight of past insecurities, struggles with depression and anxiety that he felt compelled to mask in his professional life. He worried that revealing his vulnerabilities would lessen his students' respect for him, leading to a false dichotomy, strong versus weak. For years, Liam maintained this facade, believing he had to be perfect and invulnerable to be effective in his role. The turning point came during a professional training workshop focusing on emotional intelligence. Inspired by the discussion about authenticity, Liam took a leap of faith and decided to share his struggles during a candid session. What began as a hesitant confession morphed into a powerful dialogue. As he shared his experiences, he quickly found that his vulnerability resonated with many colleagues who had faced their demons and fears in silent isolation. The exchange fostered a newfound community, grounded in mutual support and understanding. Dr. Brown's research reinforces this connection. Individuals who practice vulnerability report not only greater emotional resilience, but a deeper sense of belonging. For Liam, the experience of revealing his truth was transformative, not just for him, but for everyone who listened. Vulnerability opened a door, encouraging others to share their stories as well, creating a ripple effect of honesty and authenticity that beautified their workplace. Moreover, statistics support this notion. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies confirms that relationships marked by vulnerability not only withstand the tests of time, but thrive through challenges. When people are willing to openly share their struggles and emotional experiences, bonds strengthen, nourishing an environment conducive to healing and growth. In short, vulnerability can be the catalyst for stronger connections that foster resilience. As you reflect on the mindset of vulnerability, take comfort in knowing that it empowers you to acknowledge your authentic self while inviting others into your journey. Sharing your truth becomes a freeing act, paving the way for deeper engagement with those around you. When you express vulnerability, you create the space for transformational connections, both with yourself and your community, helping undo the isolation that often accompanies difficulty. In this chapter, we will explore the potential of your vulnerable truths as powerful tools for healing and connection. As you embrace the courage to share your experiences, knowledge about emotional resilience and personal growth will emerge. Allow yourself to trust in the journey toward deeper connection, for the road that unearths these truths is the one that leads to true empathy and self-love. In the next part of this chapter, you will learn practical steps and techniques to share your vulnerabilities effectively, laying the groundwork for a more authentic existence. Prepare for an enlightening journey of connection, empowerment, and growth. Embracing vulnerability and sharing our truths is not only an essential aspect of personal growth, but also an effective strategy for overcoming emotional barriers. This method propels us toward authentic connections and fosters a sense of belonging, an innate human desire that too many bypass due to fears of judgment and rejection. Acknowledging and sharing vulnerabilities allows us to peel back the armor of pretenses and connect in meaningful ways, leading to a richer, more fulfilled emotional life. The concrete effectiveness of vulnerability hinges on its ability to facilitate open dialogue and foster an atmosphere of trust. Research by esteemed psychologist Brené Brown shows that individuals who practice vulnerability experience a significant decrease in feelings of shame and a marked increase in self-worth. In her studies, she found that vulnerability builds strong connections, a finding that illuminates how individuals derive strength from revealing their flaws and fears. Consider Sophie, a young professional who felt overwhelmed as she navigated a demanding corporate environment. She was reluctant to share her struggles with colleagues, believing that doing so would diminish their perception of her competence. As time passed, this sense of isolation amplified her anxiety and self-doubt, ultimately affecting her performance and engagement at work. Upon attending a workshop that emphasized the value of vulnerability, she decided to confide in her mentor about her feelings of inadequacy. This admission led to a moment of profound connection, a catalyst for her healing process. Sophie's mentor, who had faced similar challenges, shared her own experiences, emphasizing the normalization of vulnerability in professional settings. This conversation empowered Sophie, reaffirming her belief that expressing vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather a pathway to resilience and strength. A subsequent conversation with her team revealed that many colleagues faced similar struggles, leading to a foundation of support and understanding that fostered openness among the entire group. Concrete bonds were forged, and the sense of community within her workplace began to flourish. Furthermore, neuroscience provides additional insight into the mechanics of vulnerability's effectiveness. Research indicates that when we share our vulnerable truths, our brains release oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding hormone. This neurochemical response creates feelings of safety and connection, reinforcing relationships through empathetic exchanges. When Sophie shared her vulnerability, not only did she open herself up to support, but she also allowed her colleagues to connect with her on a human level, bridging gaps that had previously existed. The transformative power of vulnerability extends beyond interpersonal relationships. It culminates in enhanced emotional resilience. When we confront and share our truths, we create an opportunity to process painful experiences and acknowledge their effects on our mental health. Holding on to unexpressed truths can lead to internal conflict and emotional distress, but sharing them fosters healing. This realization goes beyond mere acceptance. It leads to a radical reclamation of one's identity. Each time you courageously choose to embrace your vulnerability, you strengthen your resilience, fostering a channel through which self-esteem flourishes. Each story shared becomes a thread in the fabric of your connection to others, echoing the profound truth that authenticity breeds understanding, and understanding unlocks the door to deeper emotional experiences. As we advance, the exploration of practical techniques for effectively sharing your vulnerable truths will be the next focal point of this chapter. Prepare to be equipped with the tools needed to navigate vulnerability confidently, heightening your capacity for connection and emotional intelligence. Your step towards security and authenticity starts here, and the power to enhance your relationships and emotional well-being through vulnerability is entirely within your grasp. To embrace the transformative power of vulnerable truths, it's vital to take actionable steps that will help you open up, communicate authentically, and foster deeper connections with yourself and others. Let's explore several practical exercises and techniques that you can implement, encouraging immediate action and small wins as you embark on this impactful journey. Begin by initiating a practice known as truth-telling journaling. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes each day where you can write freely about your feelings, experiences, and fears without self-censorship. Allow yourself to be candid and bear witness to your vulnerable truths on paper. Reflect on challenging experiences that evoke strong emotions. Write about moments when you felt lonely, anxious, or afraid. This process will help you organize your thoughts while recognizing your emotional landscape. As you regularly practice this form of journaling, celebrate small victories. The simple act of writing down your feelings is a powerful step toward acknowledging and accepting your vulnerabilities. Next, consider sharing your vulnerable truths within a safe space, which could be a trusted friend, family member, or even a therapist. If you're unsure how to start, prepare for a conversation by selecting a specific experience to share. Before the discussion, take a moment to express your fears surrounding vulnerability aloud. I fear you may judge me, or I worry about being criticized. This kind of transparency can help clear the air and set the stage for an open and honest dialogue. When you share your truth, ensure to articulate how those feelings impact your life or your relationships. This will not only help others understand your struggles, but also cultivate mutual empathy and compassion. Additionally, engage in a vulnerability challenge. Set a goal to express an honest feeling or experience at least once a week for the next month. Choose a platform that feels comfortable for you, whether it's during a casual conversation, on social media, or through an art form like writing or music. This challenge will encourage you to step outside your comfort zone while fostering personal growth. Acknowledge any nervousness you may feel while expressing yourself. That's entirely natural. Each successful sharing will enhance your emotional resilience and reinforce the understanding that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Moreover, practice active listening when engaging with others. When you invite someone to share their truth with you, approach the conversation with openness and empathy. Reflect back on what they express without judgment, creating an environment that empowers them to feel safe and understood. This reciprocity not only builds trust, but encourages those around you to reciprocate and share their stories, enhancing the connection between you. As you embark on these practices, remember the importance of celebrating your progress. Each time you bravely articulate your feelings or embrace vulnerability, acknowledge it. Did sharing an experience lead to a deeper bond with someone? Recognize the resulting sense of relief and connection. Establishing concrete milestones will reinforce your emotional growth and boost your confidence. As we conclude this chapter, prepare to discover how the power of vulnerable truths can further enhance your life experiences and relationships. In the next chapter, we'll explore wholehearted living every day, providing practical insights on cultivating authenticity and embracing a life filled with joy and connection. As you move forward, remember that vulnerability is your strength, and in sharing your truths, you illuminate the path to genuine connection and fulfillment. If you found this chapter resourceful, please consider subscribing to Mindset Liberation for more enlightening content. If you've enjoyed what you're learning, give this a like and share your insights in the comments. Your feedback is invaluable as we continue shaping this community. Together, we have the power to transform our emotional journeys, one truth at a time. Let's cultivate a shared journey of growth and connection as we move forward. Chapter 6: Wholehearted Living Every Day. Wholehearted living is not merely a concept. It represents a profound way to navigate our lives, filled with authenticity, courage, and connection. It invites us to embrace all aspects of our existence, while acknowledging that living wholeheartedly requires us to show up fully for ourselves and others. This chapter will explore the essence of wholehearted living and equip you with the tools and insights needed to cultivate this compassionate mindset daily. At its core, the origins of wholehearted living lie in the integration of emotional awareness and vulnerability, encouraging us to live fully in our truth. Research by Dr. Brené Brown emphasizes the transformative power of embracing vulnerability as a means to unlock a completely authentic existence. In her extensive studies, she identified key components of wholehearted living practices, which encompass courage, compassion, and connection. Embracing these principles empowers individuals to create a positive ripple effect, influencing their relationships and overall happiness. Statistics reveal the importance of connecting with our authentic selves. According to a study conducted by the World Health Organization, individuals who cultivate emotional intelligence and live authentically report higher levels of well-being and reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. An overwhelming 80% of surveyed adults indicated that a deeper sense of connection enhances their overall life satisfaction. This data highlights the vibrancy of connection and emotional awareness, demonstrating how crucial it is to engage fully with ourselves and the world around us. Consider the story of Maria, a corporate executive who always adhered to societal expectations and workplace norms. For years, she equated her worth with her professional achievements, sacrificing personal interests and meaningful connections. Although she reached impressive career milestones, inside, she felt exhausted and unfulfilled, often doubting her identity beyond her professional persona. That changed when she attended a retreat centered on wholehearted living, igniting a new understanding of authenticity. Through workshops that focused on self-reflection, vulnerability, and connection with others, Maria began to unravel her suppressed emotions and individual aspirations. As she faced her fears, she discovered a passion for painting that she had abandoned years ago, viewing her creativity as a means of self-expression. The more Maria invested in nurturing this aspect of her identity, the more her perspective shifted. She realized that embracing her authenticity would lead her life toward deeper satisfaction and fulfillment. As she adopted the tenets of wholehearted living, Maria cultivated relationships founded on openness and shared vulnerability, reconnecting in profound ways with both colleagues and family. Maria's transformation illustrates the importance of recognizing emotions and claiming our unique identities. When we learn to live wholeheartedly, we embrace genuine connections that provide meaningful support. Furthermore, individuals who engage in practices of compassion and gratitude further enrich their sense of self, enabling them to navigate life's ebb and flow with resilience. As you consider your own journey toward wholehearted living, take comfort in knowing that you have the agency to approach life distinctively and authentically. The opportunity to create fulfilling connections starts within you. By acknowledging your emotions, embracing vulnerability, and fostering a deep sense of self-compassion, you lay a strong foundation for a purposeful, abundant life. Now that we have laid the groundwork for understanding wholehearted living, prepare to explore actionable strategies in the following sections of this chapter that will support you in integrating these principles into your everyday life. The journey toward embracing authenticity is ever unfolding, and with each small step you take, you empower yourself to live more fully and meaningfully. Embrace the possibilities that lie ahead, for living wholeheartedly is a path filled with treasures waiting to be discovered. Embracing wholehearted living is not merely a feel-good notion. It serves as a transformative method for fostering emotional resilience and deeper connections in our lives. Engaging with the principles of authenticity, vulnerability, and compassion allows individuals to navigate challenges with a sense of purpose, bringing forth the power of genuine relationships. Research in psychology has consistently shown that embracing these tenets directly correlates with improved mental health outcomes and overall life satisfaction. The effectiveness of wholehearted living lies in its ability to facilitate emotional awareness and foster connections, which are essential for personal growth. According to a 2020 study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, individuals who practice authentic living, characterized by openness, honesty, and vulnerability, reported significantly lower levels of depression and anxiety. The study revealed that when feelings of shame and fear are replaced with a commitment to genuine self-expression, individuals experience newfound freedom and joy. The practice of prioritizing authenticity allows people to cultivate strong social ties, which play a critical role in human well-being. A powerful example that illustrates the impact of wholehearted living is the journey of Tom, a high school counselor who had long been known for his impressive capacity to support students. However, behind this professional facade, Tom struggled with feelings of inadequacy and internal conflict. He was so dedicated to helping others that he suppressed his own emotions, thinking he had to be the stoic figure available at all times. This approach ultimately left him emotionally drained, questioning his effectiveness at a job he once loved. The breakthrough came when Tom participated in a workshop focused on wholehearted living. Through engaging discussions, he began exploring the concept of vulnerability, allowing himself to confront unmet needs and authentic desires. He discovered that acknowledging his emotional needs wouldn't undermine his ability to help others. Rather, it would enrich his capacity to connect with those he served. Encouraged by a community of fellow counselors who shared their struggles, Tom's transformation began as he committed to expressing his truths. By gradually opening up about his own challenges, such as anxiety and the pressure to be the perfect counselor, Tom connected with his students and colleagues on a profound level. His decision to share his vulnerabilities fostered an environment in which students felt comfortable expressing their challenges, knowing they had a safe space for authenticity. Participants in Tom's workshops frequently expressed gratitude for his openness, noting how it encouraged them to reflect on their experiences and feelings. Furthermore, research from the Greater Good Science Center shows that when people engage in acts of vulnerability, they often experience a boost in psychological safety, which bolsters engagement and collaboration in any environment. By incorporating vulnerability into their lives, individuals like Tom learn to create deep bonds, both personally and professionally. Tom's story solidifies the idea that the courage to express one's authentic self creates pathways for deeper connections and enriches relationships, enhancing mutual support and understanding. As we comprehend the profound impact of wholehearted living, it becomes clear that this approach empowers us to approach life with courage and purpose. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who embrace authenticity nurtures emotional resilience and fosters a supportive community essential for navigating life's challenges. Moving forward, we will delve into actionable strategies that can help you integrate the principles of wholehearted living into your everyday routine. Commit to this journey, for each step you take toward authenticity lays the groundwork for profound transformation. Embrace the possibilities that lie ahead, and remember that the path to living wholeheartedly starts with the willingness to show up and be seen, not only for yourself, but for those around you. To embody the principles of wholehearted living in your daily life, it's essential to engage in practical exercises and adopt mindsets that foster authenticity and connection. By consistently practicing these steps, you will cultivate a more enriching existence, allowing your true self to shine through in every aspect of your life. Let's explore specific techniques that will empower you to live wholeheartedly, encouraging immediate action and celebrating small wins along the way. Begin by establishing a daily gratitude and reflection practice. Dedicate 10 minutes each day, ideally in the morning, to write down 3 things for which you are grateful and 2 emotions you are currently experiencing. This practice not only cultivates positive feelings but also prompts you to reflect on your emotional state and recognize the impact of those feelings on your everyday experiences. As you track your gratitude and emotional awareness over time, you will begin to see patterns emerge, providing insights into your authentic self. Make it a point to celebrate the act of showing up for yourself, acknowledging your willingness to engage deeply in your life. Next, integrate a vulnerability sharing ritual into your weekly routine. Choose a close friend, family member, or trusted coworker and set aside some time to engage in an open-hearted conversation. Share one vulnerable truth about yourself. This could be a fear, a challenge, or a past experience that has shaped who you are today. Encourage them to share a vulnerability in return. This reciprocal exchange builds trust and propels both individuals towards deeper connections. By committing to these dialogues, you will reinforce your practice of authentically showing up in your relationships, making it easier over time to engage openly with others. Additionally, consider embarking on a personal values inventory. Take some time to outline your core values, those principles that guide your decisions and define your sense of self. Reflecting on questions such as what truly matters to me and how do my values align with how I currently live is essential as it lays the groundwork for aligning your actions with your authentic self. Once you have identified your top 3 values, consciously seek opportunities to embody them throughout your day. When you notice small instances of alignment, celebrate these moments. Each time you act in accordance with your values, you reinforce a deeper connection to your true self and foster authentic interactions with others. As you engage in these practices, remember that celebrating small wins is vital for maintaining momentum. Did you successfully share a vulnerable experience with a friend? Acknowledge that accomplishment. Did you take a moment to recognize your emotions during gratitude practice? Celebrate your desire to explore your feelings. You are cultivating a richer tapestry of emotional awareness. Each win, no matter how small, contributes to a larger foundation for a more authentic life. As we conclude this chapter, prepare to see how embracing wholehearted living leads into your next journey, cultivating authentic connections. This upcoming chapter will delve into the methods for forming genuine, enriching relationships that foster personal growth, community, and support. We will explore how you can strengthen connections based on vulnerability and empathy, enriching your emotional landscape even further. As we conclude this journey through Feel It All, how to honor every emotion in a happy, obsessed world, we have explored the intricate tapestry of emotions that shape our lives. From embracing the spectrum of our feelings to understanding the potent role that vulnerability and authenticity play in our relationships, this book has equipped you with the tools needed for holistic emotional health. We have dissected the constructs of happiness addiction, recognized sadness as a vital part of our experience, and embraced anger as a sacred signal for change. Furthermore, we've celebrated the profound importance of living wholeheartedly, acknowledging that our genuine selves deserve to be seen and appreciated. This journey is about transformational growth, reconnecting with ourselves, and fostering deeper connections with those around us. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this content. It is through your willingness to explore these themes that meaningful change occurs. If you found value in this exploration, I encourage you to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the Mindset Liberation channel for more insights into emotional well-being. Together, let's continue this important conversation and cultivate a community built on authenticity and connection.